Greetings everybody, welcome to a video here on G4G. I'm Napalm Dawn, and today we're going to talk about some footage and news about a new Marvel game that just came about yesterday. So yesterday being March 1st, today being March 2nd of 2020, and I couldn't do it last night because I came across the news super late, so I'm doing it today. First, I want to give a shout out to the fact that there is a Final Fantasy VII Remake demo that is available. I have sent it to my PlayStation 4. I have not tried it yet as I'm newly home from work and I wanted to get on this quicker because this is more of a common topic for the channel. So, Netmarble has said that they are doing a new game called Marvel Future Revolution. Now, if you're familiar with Netmarble, you know that they do Marvel Future Fight. So the fact that there's Marvel and Future in the name kind of makes you wonder if there is going to be any tie into itself. And here on the Marvel Future Fight wiki, or not wiki, excuse me, the Reddit, there somebody posted about it, and then this site here, twinfinite.net, seems to have a whole bunch of stuff. This is what I saw first, and then I happened to catch another video that had some uniforms, and there is also a Future Revolution Reddit that's out now, and I think I am going to join it just to keep up with it. So, alright, let's go talk about some of the footage that has been released. I'm going to go ahead and play this video, which is the trailer, and sit on mute for most of it so you don't get a lot of backwash of sound and everything, but I may interject.
No matter how many fights you've won, there are still times when it feels like the world is crashing down on you. And on days like this, it actually is. This may look like the end, but at least I don't have to face it alone.
Okay, so at this point we've seen three characters: Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, and Captain America. Now, if I want to throw a little bit of shade at the Marvel Avengers game that's coming out for the PlayStation, Xbox, PC, the one from Sony, you may remember that Marvel Avengers, or Marvel Avengers, as a lot of people have called it, had characters that you knew who they were, but they just looked so off that they were very off-putting when it was originally released. And the fanboys were all like, but it's not the MCU, so they're not going to look like their MCU counterparts. Here's the thing. To me, the MCU generally takes the established look from the actual Marvel comics. Now, Spider-Man is kind of hard to fuck up, but Captain America and Captain Marvel could definitely break sideways very easy. These characters that we're looking at in this footage, you can kind of tell they're not based on a movie. That doesn't necessarily look like Brie Larson. That's more of a modern Captain Marvel with the shorter hair, but it still doesn't look like a Captain Marvel that's really existed before. But you still know who they are, and you still get it. And that's, I look at that and I'm not creeped out by it. If I go back to Captain America over here before Spider-Man, there he is. Like, that doesn't look like tactical dad bod from Marvel Avengers. That looks like a good Captain America. So that's just something that I wanted to say when I saw this footage, is like, you know, you could still produce a Marvel game with original content and everything, and still have it look reasonably like the comics and not as bad as Tactical Dad Bod and Don't Stant in the Marvel Abdongers. But they're getting better with that. At least Black Widow doesn't look like Blork Widow anymore. But alright, let's continue.
Real heroes have each other's backs. And when the time comes to risk our lives, we do it side by side. No questions asked.
Yay, Spider-Punk from the PlayStation 4 Marvel Spider-Man game. I've never seen this Captain Marvel before, ever. I've seen the lightning stroke, but not the, like, I'm an engineer glasses.
That's when you stand together. We have a plan. Join us. Because this is not...
I've never seen this Golden Spider-Man before either, but it looks amazing.
This is a revolution.
Okay, so background information on that trailer. It is captured with in-engine footage, which is a key thing, because you know what happens when people are like, oh hey look, it's No Man's Sky. Oh hey look, it's Warcraft 3 Refunded. And everybody gets majorly disappointed when they get their grubby hands on it because it looks nothing like the trailers. Understand that is not in-game footage, that is in-engine footage, which means if we hold them to their word, the engine that they use to produce this game, say like Unity, Unreal 3, whatever, is what produced the trailer. It's not a media team drawing and animating a whole bunch of shit that has nothing to do with the game. They're using the game to generate it. However, in-engine footage means it is under ideal circumstances. And since this is going to be a mobile game, a variety of hardware is going to come into play. You may have a Asus ROG phone. You may have a Razer phone. You may have a Samsung Galaxy. You may have a Pixel. You may have a Dingus McDoodle with 2 gig of RAM and 32 gig of ROM that just barely cuts it on low. So temper your expectations. Understand what they mean by in-engine footage. It's a positive thing, and it should make you feel good, but by the same token, it not yet is in-game footage, at least for that trailer. Plus, it's hard to get a feel for what you're dealing with in that trailer. So let's take a look at another one. I think this might be the villain one. I have not seen this one yet. That just, the way the jaw was animated there looked like Jim Carrey in The Mask. It just... Oh, that's a decent Mordo. See, like, okay, look. That's not exactly like a Mordo representation we've seen before. But you recognize that as Mordo really quickly. And to me, I'm accepting of that as a good Mordo. I was not accepting of some of what I saw from Marvel Avengers. Now... while I'm on that topic, please take note, some people have begun to compare this to Sony's Marvel, or Crystal Dynamics, really. Crystal Dynamics Marvel Avengers. You cannot compare these two, and please don't do it. You do a disservice to both games. One is a AAA, hopefully, title from a major studio that produces console work and PC work, and the other one is a mobile game that has to be set to play on somewhat weaker hardware and way more of a variety of choices between, you know, does it have a MediaTek chip? Does it have an NVIDIA chip in there? Does it have a Snapdragon? There's a whole lot of things that go into the mobile sphere that's a little bit easier. I mean, way easier than consoles. An Xbox One is an Xbox One no matter what. PCs and Macs, yeah, that's a little bit different. It's a little closer to mobile there, but again, like, I look at this and I'm happy. I looked at Marvel Avengers, I wasn't. But please don't compare the two, because it is truly apples to oranges over there. Don't make that mistake, and some people are doing that. That's a good MODOK. That's one of the meanest, ugliest MODOKs I've seen in a game yet. The wrinkling or the aging on his face was good there. That's a good Green Goblin, but doesn't that almost look like a Skrull there? Oh, that's new. I've never seen a Red Goblin before. I've seen some... Oh, wow, that's almost like Carnage and Red Goblin had a sex baby. It's Karn Goblin. Green Noblin? Looks like Captain America and Falcon. Here comes another Captain America through the portal. That's cool. New Stark City. Wow. I have not heard of that representation yet. Is this going to be Golden Spider-Man? Nope. Another new... So this could be... Is New Stark City a thing that's out there? Or is it maybe something for the game? Because this shit's cool. Tech versions of these characters is pretty damn cool. Okay, so this representation of Captain Marvel, to a degree, we've seen not quite as metallic, but the hat with the mohawk, I mean, was in the Captain Marvel movie, so that's not too big of a stretch. Still cool, though. There's kind of a Blizzard-esque music in the background there. Alright, so that one looks like it's over. This one is only a minute. First in-game footage, World Fly-Through. So this is saying not in-engine, in footage, which is different. So this is Xanderth, the hub cluster. I think this is Scar. Yep, Sakaar, Chosen Valley, sorry. If I remember, isn't Sakaar where Hulk went and did the Gladiator stuff? I think so, at least if I'm remembering that correctly. Not in the movies, I just mean like comic-wise. Here's Sakaar, Great Desert. Has sort of an Egyptian flair to it a little bit. Like a Wakanda, Egypt. Although that looks pretty Mad Maxy here. This looks very Desert Outposty. Alright, so that one's done. Here's a superhero trailer. Standard Doctor Strange, but using sort of the Marvel, the MCU spells. Standard Spider-Man. It's so hard to screw up Spider-Man. Like, you have to work to screw up how Spider-Man looks, especially as a default. I mean, if you did something wacky with a costume, maybe, but like, I just think you really, really have to work to fuck up Spider-Man. Captain Marvel. Pretty standard representation of her. That outfit is probably the most common one now because of the movie. Whereas if you go back in Captain Marvel's history, it used some others. Now, this is easily recognizable, obviously, as Captain America and looks very much like him, but it's still a slightly different uniform than we've seen. Alright, so that one seems to be over. This, alright, so this is the other one that I've seen. God, if this is in-game footage, this is good. Like, I can imagine this as being like a $20 game on Steam almost. This is pretty cool. I saw this and I was like, what the fuck? I didn't know who this was at first. Then I looked at the chest. I'm like, wait a minute. This is a Spider-Man? This looks like his name should be Spider Centurion. It has such a Roman Coliseum look to it. Maybe that is the actual name of the character. I don't know, but That's a very, very interesting look for Spider-Man. I've never seen anything remotely close to that. It kind of looks like the Gladiator Hulk stuff from Marvel Heroes. This I figured was probably Captain America. Excuse me, Captain Marvel. There's the new Stark City. We know that now. I didn't know that the first time I watched it. Does this not remind you of Dead Cells? This, at least this portion over here, reminds me of the suit from Dead Cells with your health bar going up over it. Yeah, it's got sort of like a rescue cover up over here, but this part really reminded me of Dead Cells when I saw it. That's cool. That black and silver is really cool. So here's Captain Hydra, and you'll see what I mean in a moment. That's cool. That's very Hydra colors there. I don't know what that little blurb of voice was. Again, so much better than Marvel Abdongers. And let's see what we have here. This says gameplay. This is probably what was running, I think, at PAX. Oh, there we go. So we finally get to see what you do in this game. A third-person Marvel Future Fight? Wow, that's a scary looking battle right there. One against that many? A giant yellow jacket. Okay, now this looks a little bit different from any yellow jacket we've ever seen. We've seen this yellow and black, and we've definitely seen a very similar costume, but this is way more tech and menacing than we've ever seen before. But again, I'm still very accepting of it. It sort of ramps up the threat factor, which Yellowjack has never been a really particularly big threat in the games that he's been in, but that's a cool representation of Yellowjacket. Alright, and then down here there's some more screenshots. Xandar, Hub Cluster, Headquarters, Sakaar, Great Desert, Crown City. Asked whether the game could come to consoles and PC. The developers mentioned they're going to listen to the voices, but Netmarble is a powerhouse of mobile games, so this remains a mobile-first game. Controller support on mobile is possible, but undecided. There is no misspelling date. There is no release date for Marvel Future Revolution. This is not the first Marvel game, because we know Future Fight's 2015. So this is very, very interesting. To round out the games that we've had, it looks a little bit ARPG-ish. Not ARPG-ish like Diablo or Marvel Heroes, because we had an ARPG Marvel game. It was Marvel Heroes. It's dead. But it looks like a sort of a behind-the-shoulder action RPG. So we've had turn-based in Marvel Avengers Alliance 1 and 2, Marvel Strike Force. We've had a tactical game in Marvel Avengers Alliance Tactics. RIP, fuck off that game. God, that game was annoying. I'm sorry if I offend people. I know there's a lot of fans of Matt, but it ran shitty online. If you had somebody in your shard or cluster that was just abusing the shit out of lobies who could not get out of the gate because they were just farming their bases and just kicking them back over to PvP mode the moment they had the chance. I mean, it was awful. There was just an awful implementation of that game. If they could do it again tactically without forced PvP and things like that, they'd be better off. And the world might be ready for that again. But original Matt sucked. I know people hate MA2. I liked it. I thought it was graphically good. I thought it was fun. But a lot of people blame Marvel Avengers Alliance 2 for potentially killing itself and Marvel Avengers Alliance 1. No, don't make that mistake. That was all Disney. It didn't have to do with Playdom or what Playdom was doing. That was all Disney's fault. You have Marvel Future Fight, which is an action RPG, mobile. Sort of think of it like a Double Dragon, a Final Fight to a certain degree. You have Marvel Contest of Champions, which is the greediest motherfucker of them all. I hate the monetization in Contest of Champions. I hate the way it glorifies a duplicate. You have a 4-star Hulk. You pulled a 2-star Hulk. Yay! You have a character. No, I don't. I have a duplicate. I'm sharding this dude. Are you serious? Or, hey, you can spend your $5 to get a crystal that has a good chance of dropping Super Duper Ultra Spider-Man, and then you open the crystal and you have your 15th Black Panther level 2. Yay! Fuck off. Contest of Champions is awful. But so you have MCOC, which is kind of like the Street Fighter of the games, the Mortal Kombat of the games. You have Marvel Puzzle Quest, which I don't play. It's a match 3 if I remember correctly. You had Marvel Avengers Academy, which I didn't play, kind of the kiddie version of it. We mentioned Strike Force as a modern one, that's turn-based. You had Marvel Heroes, which was the true Diablo-esque ARPG. That's dead. You had Marvel Battle Lines, which was the Connect 4 / card collector, which is dead. Shame. That game could have been an unsung hero. But yeah, that died right at the end of 2019, early 2020. You have obviously the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, but we're not going to get into those. We're going to talk more about Marvel mobile games. We have the new Marvel Avengers coming up, which is probably going to be real straight RPG. Then we have that other one from Kabam, which is the one that's kind of maybe going to play like a Risk or an Axis and Allies or a Shogun, Defenders of the Crown, maybe like a map-based one. I don't know that many details of it yet, other than they're going to do interesting things with these houses that you align with. You align with House Stark or House Hulk or something like that. And I mean, that's pretty much it. Oh, and then there's the Marvel MOBA, which is not global, Marvel Super Wars, and I do believe there's another one out there that's on Steam, but it's not in the Americas. I think it's only in the Asian countries. I've seen some footage of it in the past. I don't think it's Super War that I'm thinking of. I think it's something different. So we've definitely got Marvel games that really run the gamut of things. This one looks like it's probably going to be an action RPG. What kind of customization are we going to have other than colors and uniforms? Who knows? Are we going to see ISO 8 that augments abilities or augments stats to some degree? Again, who knows? So the other one is definitely Kabam, because it's like Marvel Contest of Realms or Realm of Champions. Let me see if that's what it is. Yeah, it's going to be Realm of Champions. June date released? Interesting. That's 2 days ago. Maybe that might be it. But yeah, this is the... See, this has got like a Risk thing. So there's President Peggy Carter. There's Baron Ancient One. Back to being the male representation. Stark Prime. Maybe with Netmarble and Kabam becoming one, and with Foxnet becoming one with Scopely, maybe Netmarble and Kabam are going to take from each other's universes, because that's a hologram of Tony in a Stark armor, so maybe the House of Stark or New Stark City might be pulling from this House of Iron over here. And maybe this is a way of the two companies beginning to push towards like a shared universe or something. Capital Armored City. Okay, it's not, but it's close. Like, look at the oh wow, that is... How handsome Jack from the Borderlands series is that? Oof. God, I hope they don't make out Tony Stark to be like super egotistical handsome Jack. over here. Armored City, Avengers Compound, Palladium Mines. Yeah, I'm not seeing a direct reference to it, but that's... yeah, New Stark City made me kind of think of this, which is okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but, yeah. This will be interesting. Man, I would kill to have a week back playing Marvel Heroes. Yeah. See, I was pre-Omega, like a lot of people over here, because I had come over from the PC, and I never established any of the console versions of it. So this will be interesting. I definitely will play it. I definitely will cover it. This is hopefully one that I can get into right at the beginning and start doing videos early. I could have kind of done that with Strike Force, and I did when it was in beta, but once it went global, I didn't push. And, you know, Marvel Future Fight, I don't consider myself a super good source of information on that. I'm average at best. Fuck Contest of Champions. Marvel Ultimate Alliance, in order for me to do anything really there, I've got to get a capture card like a Razor Ripsaw or something like that, or a Legato. So that's a little bit hard to do. This could be interesting, and hopefully it happens where maybe a particular region of the world gets a early beta access to it, and I can scarf up the APK and start doing footage early. By the way, my girlfriend really loved this when it was on iOS. This Sky Children of Light. She played this pretty religiously at nights, or, you know, around bedtime or so, because it was just kind of pleasant and relaxing. It's got great scores on the Apple Store. This is coming to Android. It's the people who did Journey and Flower. There are APKs out there of the Android version of it, but there is also a beta version that you can sign up for on the Google Play Store, and there's a pre-registration. So if you're into mobile games and you're into something maybe a little bit calmer or just pleasant and maybe a little less ass-kicky, this might be up your alley. If you go to the Play Store, I'm just going to use this since it's a link, and you do Sky. It's really hard to find when you're on your device and doing it, but this is the one that's coming soon that you can pre-register for, and then there's this beta which you can get now. It's tough to find this, so you may want to come to the web version, go to install, and then like pick your devices to install it on, and go that way. There are no reviews or stars or anything like that, but if you just want something a little bit more chill than just like constantly beating each other up. I don't know that much about the game. I sort of watched her play it, and I could hear it a lot. It was just very pleasant sounding. I'm gonna give it a try and may start covering this on the channel, especially if I get it to work on like BlueStacks or something. So that's it for me, guys. Just wanted to drop this update out there. I will probably have something coming up for the Final Fantasy VII demo. I'm going to play it a little bit first directly on the PS4, and once I get a feel for it, I may run it on the PlayStation 4 remote play over here and capture some footage on it for the channel. So that's it for me, guys. Take care. Good touching base with you guys again.